Isilion whipped his horned head around towards the source of the roaring sound to see a glistening flight of dragons soaring over the mountaintops. The beauty of the dragons was marvelous to behold. Each was a new, sparkling color. From deep red through browns and yellows to green and blue, their shining scales spread dancing light across the ground beneath them as they flew. But Isilion only saw the black flames of his rage. The demon spawn retreated from Halmsikken's bloodied body to gather at their master's feet. As the dragon swooped down to meet him, Isilion bent down and grasped handfuls of demon spawn and threw them into the crowd of dragons. The insects latched onto some of the dragon's wings and brought them flailing to the ground. Then Isilion sent torrents of fire up into the throng, and more dragons fell, burning. But those dragons that remained were almost on top of him. Isilion had to flee, and flee he did, north, across the Aornine Mountains, and then west, through Norrin Peaks. For weeks the dragons chased and battled the demon, across the crags that marked the northern edge of Beridden, and for weeks he evaded them. Until at last, Isilion ran out of places to hide. They had reached the seeping scar, a smoking chasm that split the mountains. The walls of the ravine were formed of oozing magma, which flowed steadily into the unfathomable darkness below. And it was as Isilion halted at the rift's edge that the divine dragons finally caught up with him. Halmsikken, his scars barely healed, headed the company and reached Isilion first once more. But this time the demon was exhausted, and the dragon was angry. Leaping over the demon spawn which came snapping at his feet, Halmsikken flew straight towards Isilion. And as he flew, he summoned the fire from his belly and spewed it forward. The demon's last desperate act was to speak the word of fire, and causing a blazing pillar to shoot up from the ground and divert the dragon's stream of flame. But Halmsikken shot through the smoke, knocked the demon off balance, and Isilion tumbled down into the seeping scar. The demon slipped down the tapering chasm until he found himself lodged between its narrow sides. The rest of the dragons now landed and clustered around the ravine. They quickly herded the carpet of demon spawn into the rift where the dreadful insects slid past their master and into the acrid darkness below. As Isilion struggled to free himself, a yellowish dragon came to the front of the group and passed to Halmsikken a small, multifaceted metallic object. The object, called the World Key, was a mysterious magical artifact, covered with writing in an unfathomable language. The full power of the World Key eluded even the dragons themselves. Halmsikken held the World Key aloft, and together the dragons roared an indecipherable word. The World Key floated into the air where it shuddered and cracked, and beams of light shot out from its core. And down below, shimmering blue smoke engulfed Isilion's arms and twisted around his horns. The dragon spoke another word, and the ground around the chasm shook violently, and the smoke resolved itself into shining magical chains, restraining Isilion and draining his power. Rising into the air, the dragons chanted one final word. The World Key shattered into innumerable pieces which flew out over every horizon, and the seeping scar slammed shut.